Good day, brethren. The good captain here from CapnsKustomWorks. We're here with a little Beery Views supplemental video today. A little update on the hops bed. Hopdate, if you will. Or if you won't, then whatever, then you can go away. I don't know. So it happens to be the 4th of July, on this beautiful day outside. And let's take a look at some of these hops because they are going along amazingly thus far. So first off, we have these fine hops here, which happen to be attempting to eat my pear tree. I hope to make some wine from those pears, but they're being eaten by hops. Maybe they'll have to be made into beer now. This is the first specimen that I refer to as wild caught number 1. I happened to rescue the specimen from a field that was due to be raised for construction in the course of my day job. I found them and said I have to go back and save them. Transplanted them, and as you can see, they are doing just amazingly well. Starting to bud out a little bit. I'm sure they'll be burring before too long. Because they were somewhat fresh transplants last fall, I didn't thin them out all that much, and you can kind of tell. Next example is one of my originals that's been here 2 years thus far. This is a Cascade. This particular one is pretty decent sized, if you can see. And it's budding out just a tad as well. Not like its brothers down the line. Maybe because this one's getting a touch more shade, but the other Cascades are far more advanced at this point. Next we have a Magnum that I put in from fresh rhizome this spring, and it's doing quite well. At least one vine topping the what used to be 8-foot line. As you can see, the line's considerably sagging. Next year we're not only extending these posts, but I think we'll also be using a cable instead of this paracord, because it sags quite a bit. It's going along and budding out just a touch. Then one of the Cascades that I transplanted from another area down in the yard. It is 2 years old, but it's just not going along that well. We'll see if it makes it or it might be replaced. Then a somewhat fresh Nugget. This one was put in this spring, but from an established potted specimen. This one has a little bug damage, is not as vigorous as the other examples. I have 3 of those. Fuggle from rhizome. Good English variety, I'm looking forward to it. This one's doing okay, maybe 4-foot-ish. I think that might be about all it's going to do. It's budding out a little bit. I think it's going to be burring soon, and that's fine. The next Cascade, doing quite well. This one's budding out nicely. And Crystal from fresh rhizome this spring. Doing okay. This Nugget is doing quite well. That one I'm excited about. It's not budding that much yet, but I'm hopeful that this one will produce something good. The next Cascade, look at that. Like I said, 4th of July, and this thing is coning like mad already. And I did thin this one down a ways, but it just kept popping up. This is one vigorous and early specimen. Well, Cascade's not the most exciting hops in the world. I'm pleased to have this one here in my collection. Next, a Sorachi Ace, fresh from rhizome this year. All these rhizomes that I put in this year I obtained from fresh hops. I probably have to put in a link to them now. This one's, it's alright. It's not going too fast. I've been told that it's because this is a high alpha variety. It takes a little while longer to establish, so I don't think this is going to be producing at all this year. But I'm excited to have it. Sriracha Ace is supposed to be kind of an herby lemon flavor. It's originally developed for Sapporo, now available in the States. The next wild caught number 2. Look at that, that's just a mess. That's budding out pretty decently. It's going to be burned pretty quick here, or it's just starting to rather already. You can see a little bit, I don't know if you can see in the film, but you can see little bits. I don't know if it'll focus on it, but it's certainly getting there. The next fuggle, this is one of, it's doing okay. I'm pretty excited for the fuggle. They're doing alright, and hopefully next year they'll be producing well. We'll do some fine English styles with that. Next Cascade, unlike its closest brother down the line, it's doing amazingly. It's not coning yet, but it is burring like mad. This one's going to produce pretty heavy this year as well. Now this nugget is doing the best out of all of the 3 potted nuggets that I put in earlier. I think it's going to produce okay, not quite there yet. It's doing alright. Or Chinook, this one was just put in from rhizome this spring as well. And it's doing pretty darn good. This one, amusingly enough, was the one that was growing most vigorously in the package before it even arrived. It was sprouting like crazy. And then it took a little while to come up, but it's doing nice and solid. Nice dark leaves, doing good. And finally we have the last wild caught. Wild caught number 3, also doing amazingly. Just great. These 3 wild caught examples that I put in, when I transplanted them last fall, they were just past the point of usefulness. Cones were a touch brown, but they all were producing amazingly and were resining up just like mad. I mean, the lapulin was dripping from these things. They were just yellow with dust. It was nuts. So good thoughts for those. As you can see, not too bad. Not too bad. This is the first year the hops bed has been quite this organized. The Cascades and in the fall the wild caughts were the only ones that were all here last year. The rest were put in the spring. Like I said, the nuggets from established in pots that I obtained from a good local greenhouse. And then the last half a dozen, all from rhizome, from fresh hops. And not too bad for a 1 to 2 year bed. I think we're doing okay, and I think we're going to brew some fine stuff with it. And who knows, maybe we'll even expand a little more next year. I know we're certainly going to expand upward, because 8 foot on paracord wasn't holding it. We're going to go up to 12 foot on cable. Well, thanks for being with me for this little Beery View supplemental. Happy 4th of July to all of you that are watching this today, and if you live elsewhere in the world, then, you know, happy summer, because good enough. We'll see you all again in the real near future, whether you like it or not. Much love.